Hello, welcome back. About 10 minutes, Daniel, we'll be talking for. Welcome back to Caring Conversations studio, live at the Care Show in Birmingham at the NEC. We have Daniel Casson with us.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, yeah. Do you want to tell us who you are and what you do?
Yep. I'm Daniel Casson from Casson Consulting, my own consulting company. The logo being encouraging innovation in care, and that can take any format, working with care providers, working with tech providers, with individuals, with the NHS and Department of Health and Social Care. Say, okay, how are we encouraging innovation to become business as usual? And what we're going to focus on today, hopefully, York, is about how that creates better well-being for people, how it creates value for people, for the system, and for organisations as well.
Yeah, I like you're saying, we were chatting before about kind of that disconnect between health, and it's not health, social care, is it? It's sort of health, dash social care,
yeah.
Whereas actually a really well-managed system, you probably comes first, right? Social care probably comes before health, and then after again. Yeah.
Let's go even before that. I used to talk about the magic quadrangle. I used to call it magic quadrangle of health, social care, housing, and population health. And now I'm even thinking about probation services, because this is all about the well-being of the community and all the factors that go into creating a healthy community. And one of the best maxims I've ever heard is, if we make resources that we have, be that in care, be that in housing, if we make the resources that we have accessible to everybody in the community, to people with accessibility issues, to you and to me, it's better for the whole community if everything's accessible to the whole community. If we bring the whole community together, it's better for individual well-being as well. And that's my whole maxim, and that's why I want to encourage innovation across the health, care, housing, population health, and even the supporting services as well. So that's my vision for the future. I'll give you my vision for the future, York.
I mean, as we see in this country, there's a sort of breakdown of community because of the fact that, maybe 30 years ago, people didn't need to move away to buy property, or didn't need to move away to go to work. So now actually, whereas 30 years ago you'd open the front door and you'd know the neighbours and the kids would play in the cul-de-sac, that's much rarer now, I think. So you immediately lose that sense of community because there isn't necessarily that connection.
I'm looking at you slightly dubiously, because I think we have new community. I hate to say this, but in a way, COVID did, and we're still feeling the effects of COVID. Let's not lie about that. I think COVID brought people together in different ways, creating new communities. So, a bit unlike you in this one, I'm not actually ruining the fact that we don't have that 50s style cul-de-sac playing. I'm actually saying there's other ways of bringing community together, because even in that sort of society, there was isolation, there was loneliness. So I think one of the things that we have to do with, and I work in technology, as you know, is actually use the technology we have to create community. Because I know people in care homes, even people in retirement living housing, can be isolated within their local, within their locale, and we have to break that isolation. And I think we have the possibility with technology to do that, to create better well-being for people, well-being communities in not communal living, but community supportive organisation, so that people can access different resources now. I love all the resources that people can access now online for free, and people just don't know about.
So I just think, the sense of community is often driven from crisis. When we say about COVID, it brought people together because we needed each other. And then actually, as that then goes away, that community starts to slip again. And how do we find effective ways? Used to be religion that would bring people together, right? It would bring people on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning together to one place for a reason, right? And now that happens less and less and less, so that community doesn't get built. And then there's not necessarily an output for the community, and maybe there's fates and different things like that. But how do we use technology to do this? How do we?
I mean, one of the greatest pities of the past few years is the closing down of the youth centres. So you're getting nowhere for people to go. We talk about third places. I was talking to people of the younger generation now. They're talking very much about the third place. So your first place being home, second place being work. Third place is so much more important now, where people congregate and gather and create community.
So my coffee shop is probably a third place.
Yeah, it's definitely a third place. Yeah. It's a community resource. I think one of the possibilities we have is getting those community resources. Hairdressers, a local hairdresser, fantastic place of community. Your coffee shop, also one of the big things that's happening is gyms are now communities. A gym isn't a place you just go to exercise. new gym builders of building a community, a supportive community, and that's what we want to get those free. It's almost like a free asset-based community development is where it's at, the ABCD thing, because we have so many resources, and I think that's my role, is actually encouraging how people can use that new technology to create community. And that's a bit highfalutin because I work in care homes, I work in home care, but I think if we actually focus on people being independent parts of a thriving community, then that's the mindset which comes down to how we create and innovate.
Do you have any thoughts on what steps we need to take to get that started, or is it?
It's a big dash. I think the interdependence. So we talk about the government pushing forward on health without and seeing it as a different paradigm than social care. No, bring them together. We're all in the circle of well-being. So I don't see the concrete ways to doing that we're still working on that and bringing people together. I think it's the mindset is about housing. How do we look at housing for the long term? So let's first build a culture of people being interdependent, because no one of us is dependent. We're all interdependent on each other. Let's build that culture, and from that, I think will flow some of the solutions to how we build community.
Is there any actions we can take now to help people's well-being? Any actions now we can take to help people's well-being?
Yes, there is. There is it's a simple connecting. My dream is part of what you're doing, is to open a coffee shop where people just actually share ideas, come and share ideas and exercises, and are free to talk. Any steps we can take now? I'm looking around the room, around the care show. I'm seeing some good ideas. I'm not seeing that culture change that I want to see of sharing resources. How do we get to sharing resources between the health, care, housing? So I think some joint working of breaking the barriers, breaking the silos is what I want to see. So I love getting people together with more knowledge than I have. So if I can get someone from housing, someone from social care, someone from population health, local government talking, that's my ideal, and that's how we'll start. That's how we'll start breaking down the barriers and creating community.
There you go. Idea for the next conference, then. Daniel.
Definitely that communal hub. Your coffee shop. We'll do the coffee shop together next.
Lovely. Let's open a talking shop.
It really is that talking, and also having different views. Having people's different views and just respecting that view of different ways. I love the way I've just been to a talk just now about how the Thatcher study and about how care homes are getting involved in study, making it easy for them to participate in qualitative and quantitative studies. Then you're opening up data, you're opening up community as well.
I was talking to Garant, who you know Garant, about the social media platform for disabled people.
Yeah.
And how he said that this technology was adopted and then used in a completely different way to what they expected. And there's been groups of people who have gone to Glastonbury together, and then people to go on dates and things, and they didn't really realise when they made it that would. But the importance of having everybody's voice in the room.
For me, one of the most ground-changing creations of the past, let's go back 25 years, is actually texting. I have deaf friends who actually started texting was the thing that opened the world to them. So how we create better, what we need to do is we have to have this goal of helping people be as independent as possible so they can actually create their own lives and then involve them in community. So a lot of the technology that we're seeing that Geraint will talk about is about giving people access to other people to bring into their circle. And we've got so many ways of doing that we're not actually bringing together. I think we're at a bit of a tipping point at the moment of bringing forward technology.
Texting 25 years ago on my Motorola with buttons, and they used to text so much you'd get blisters on your thumb, and it only stored 25 text messages, so you had to delete them as you went.
But this person one specific person I know was a diver. And underwater, she could communicate as well as you or me because it's sign language. And to make it as accessible, that texting for her was just blew my mind. They didn't develop it for that, but that's how it became just an enabler. So I think one of the best policies we can have at the moment is actually free Wi-Fi for everybody. I will push free Wi-Fi for everybody because that then opens up the whole world to people who might not be able to afford it. And that's, I think, one of the enablers we need to get in here.
Yeah. So I've got one last question for you.
Oh, no.
Takeaways.
Yeah.
Plate or no plates?
No plates.
No plate, yeah.
Yeah.
Even in Indian, Chinese?
Banana leaf.
Banana leaf, okay, I like it, yeah.
Yeah, banana leaf. Okay. That's where it's at.
Well, thanks very much for coming, Daniel. It's good to see you.
Cheers. Cheers, York. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll be back shortly with our next interview.